Hello, this is Travis Ortega, or at least a very good impersonation, and I'm going to be talking about the various skills I learned in my communications course. I want to start off with research. I initially struggled in this course with research as there's like a lot of for sources we require a lot of popular magazine sources. But what I learned is that if you go to like Google and after typing in your like key terms, like what you're looking for, and then put the words popular magazine either before or after the key terms, you end up getting like a bunch of more relevant results. Like that's how like with that I ended up finding like a lot more sources from like CNN or like Time Magazine. Like also like using the advanced search feature on Google is helpful. Like if you want to exclude like a specific date or something. But for elaboration and analysis, for that I'd recommend the outlines that were done for the first two speeches. They're very good at helping with elaboration and analysis. But even like beyond just like specifically for analysis, what I'd recommend is like when you're doing your rehearsal speeches for the rehearsals for the speeches, to like put yourself in the shoes of an audience member and think like if I didn't know about my topic as much as I did, would my analysis and what I'm saying actually make sense and hold up? But moving on, like another important part of communications is like handling stress, anxiety, and like resilience. And I talked about this in my previous third speech, but essentially, like Cliff Notes is like an important part of like building resilience. It's like being able to believe in yourself. Like for the first speech on professional skills, I did horribly. Well, I think I did horribly. I feel like I did because I was very nervous, and my nonverbal communication gave that away. But following that, with the next speeches I would do, I ended up looking at it like, hey, if I did so badly on this speech, then surely I could handle the other speeches. So essentially, like, kind of like fake being confident until like other people start seeing you as confident, and then you yourself start believing that you are confident, and until it's like no longer a belief, until you just are confident. But that takes us to our next topic, as I previously discussed, like putting yourself in the shoes of an audience member. So let's actually talk about being an audience member now. Part of what I consider to be a good audience member, it involves like the flow notes that we would take. And like it does seem like initially hard to like take good flow notes and remain engaged. As you not only like as you're like taking notes on like the verbal communication, the nonverbal communication of the student while you're taking notes. So it's kind of hard at first, but for that I'd recommend doing all the various flow notes assignments that were provided in the class, as the practice really does help you. But in terms of giving feedback, with me personally with feedback, I always looked forward to the feedback. Like that was honestly one of my favorite parts of the class, just waiting to see the feedback that I received from either my professor or from other students. But in terms of giving good feedback, I'd recommend focusing on like the major points, like not just nitpicks. Like say someone fumbles from a word but they recover. Like don't focus on that because that in and of itself is like its own skill. Focus instead like on core ideas or like more on the bigger issues instead. If you don't really have like flaws to point out, like maybe like highlight something that they could have done better. Like say they did like say someone did good at this section, but here's how you could have elevated further. Here's how you could have elevated that further. And onto that last point on what skills are going to transfer here. I think the main thing that's going to transfer here honestly is confidence and the power of nonverbal communication. Like I think back to that TED talk on how like people that were like hiring people in job interviews, like people who appear more confident, they would like remember it better. And honestly, it's like true. Like it's what they say about like first impressions. A lot of our first impressions, it's like we judge people. We judge like they say you want to judge a book by its cover, but it's what we basically do. So like try your best to like appear confident. As like an important part, of public speaking is appearing confident. And what I consider to be like good public speaking, I'd say it's like it's being good at being able to it's being good at being able to say what you want to say while also looking good at it. And with that, I'm done here. And I want to say, it wasn't I didn't spend that long here, only like 8 weeks in this course, but I enjoyed my time here. Happy holidays. See ya.